British cuisine is the specific set of cooking traditions and practices associated with the United Kingdom. British cuisine has been described as unfussy dishes made with quality local ingredients, matched with simple sauces to accentuate flavour, rather than disguise it. However, British cuisine has absorbed the cultural influence of those who have settled in Britain, producing many hybrid dishes, such as the Anglo-Indian chicken tikka masala. Celtic agriculture and animal breeding produced a wide variety of foodstuffs for indigenous Celts and Britons. Anglo-Saxon England developed meat and savoury herb stewing techniques before the practice became common in Europe. The Norman conquest introduced exotic spices into England in the Middle Ages. The British Empire facilitated a knowledge of India's elaborate food tradition of strong, penetrating spices and herbs. Food rationing policies, put in place by the British government during wartime periods of the 20th century, are said to have been the stimulus for British cuisine's poor international reputation. It has been claimed, contrary to popular belief, that people in southern England eat more garlic per head than the people of northern France. British cuisine has traditionally been limited in its international recognition to the full breakfast, fish and chips, and the Christmas dinner. Other famous British dishes include the Sunday roast, steak and kidney pie, shepherd's pie, and bangers and mash. British cuisine has many regional varieties within the broader categories of English, Scottish and Welsh cuisine. Each have developed their own regional or local dishes, many of which are geographically indicated foods such as Cornish pasties, the Yorkshire pudding, Cumberland sausage, our broad smoky, and Welsh cakes. History: Romano-British agriculture, highly fertile soils and advanced animal breeding produced a wide variety of very high-quality foodstuffs for indigenous Romano-British people. Anglo-Saxon England developed meat and savoury herb stewing techniques, and the Norman conquest reintroduced exotic spices and continental influences back into Great Britain in the Middle Ages as maritime Britain became a major player in the transcontinental spice trade for many centuries after. Following the Protestant Reformation in the 16th and 17th centuries, plain and robust food remained the mainstay of the British diet, reflecting tastes which are still shared with neighbouring North European countries and traditional North American cuisine. In the 18th and 19th centuries, as the colonial British Empire began to be influenced by India's elaborate food tradition of strong, penetrating spices and herbs, the United Kingdom developed a worldwide reputation for the quality of British beef, and pedigree bulls were exported to form the bloodline of major modern beef herds in the New World. Developments in plant breeding produced a multiplicity of fruit and vegetable varieties, with British disease-resistant rootstocks still used globally for fruits such as apples. During the World Wars of the 20th century, difficulties of food supply were countered by official measures, which included rationing. The problem was worse in WWII, and the Ministry of Food was established to address the problems. Due to the economic problems following the war, rationing continued for some years, and in some aspects was more strict than during wartime. Rationing was not fully lifted until almost a decade after war ended in Europe, so that a whole generation was raised without access to many previously common ingredients. These policies, put in place by the British government during wartime periods of the 20th century, are often blamed for the decline of British cuisine in the 20th century. In common with many advanced economies, rapid urbanization and the early industrialization of food production as well as female emancipation have resulted in a highly modern consumer society with reduced connection to the rural environment and adherence to traditional household roles. Consequently, food security has increasingly become a major popular concern. Concerns over the quality and nutritional value of industrialized food production led to the creation of the Soil Association in 1946. Its principles of organic farming are now widely promoted and accepted as an essential element of contemporary food culture by many sections of the UK population, and animal welfare in farming is amongst the most advanced in the world. The last half of the 20th century saw an increase in the availability of a greater range of good quality fresh products and greater willingness by many sections of the British population to vary their diets and select dishes from other cultures such as those of Italy and India. Modern British cuisine. Modern British cuisine is a style of British cooking which fully emerged in the late 1970s, and has become increasingly popular. It uses high-quality local ingredients, preparing them in ways which combine traditional British recipes with modern innovations, and has an affinity with the slow food movement. It is not generally a nostalgic movement, although there are some efforts to reintroduce pre-20th century recipes. Ingredients not native to the islands, particularly herbs and spices, are frequently added to traditional dishes. Much of modern British cooking also draws heavily on influences from Mediterranean cuisines, and more recently, Middle Eastern, South Asian, East Asian and Southeast Asian cuisines. The traditional influence of Northern and Central European cuisines is significant but fading. The mid-20th century British style of cooking emerged as a response to the depressing food rationing that persisted for several years after the Second World War, along with restrictions on foreign currency exchange, making travel difficult. A hunger for exotic cooking was satisfied by writers such as Elizabeth David, who from 1950 produced evocative books whose recipes were then often impossible to produce in Britain, where even olive oil could only normally be found in dispensing chemists rather than food stores. By the 1960s, foreign holidays, and foreign-style restaurants in Britain, further widened the popularity of foreign cuisine. Recent modern British cuisine has been very much influenced and popularised by TV chefs, all also writing books, such as Fanny Craddock, Clement Freud, Robert Carrier, Robert Irvine, Keith Floyd, Delia Smith, Gordon Ramsay, Nigella Lawson, Simon Hopkinson, Nigel Slater and Jamie Oliver, alongside the food programme, made by BBC Radio 4. Varieties: Anglo-Indian cuisine. Some Anglo-Indian dishes derive from traditional British cuisine, such as roast beef, modified by the addition of Indian-style spices, such as cloves and red chilies. Fish and meat are often cooked in curry form with Indian vegetables. Anglo-Indian food often involves use of coconut, yogurt, and almonds. Roasts and curries, rice dishes, and breads all have a distinctive flavour. English cuisine. English cuisine is shaped by the climate of England, its island geography and its history. The latter includes interactions with other European countries, and the importing of ingredients and ideas from places such as North America, China and Southern Asia during the time of the British Empire. Northern Irish cuisine. The cuisine of Northern Ireland is largely similar to that of the rest of the island of Ireland. In this region, the Ulster Ferry is particularly popular. Scottish cuisine. Scottish cuisine is the specific set of cooking traditions and practices associated with Scotland. It shares much with English cuisine, but has distinctive attributes and recipes of its own. Traditional Scottish dishes such as haggis and shortbread exist alongside international foodstuffs brought about by migration. Scotland is known for the high quality of its beef, lamb, potatoes, oats, and seafoods. In addition to foodstuffs, Scotland produces a variety of whiskies. Welsh cuisine. Welsh cuisine has influenced, and been influenced by, other British cuisine. Although both beef and dairy cattle are raised widely, especially in Carmarthenshire and Pembrokeshire, Wales is best known for its sheep, and thus lamb is the meat traditionally associated with Welsh cooking. Cuisines of overseas territories: Gibraltarian cuisine, Cayman Islands cuisine, British Virgin Islands cuisine, Bermudian cuisine, Falkland Islands cuisine, Anguillan cuisine, cuisine of St Helena. Dates of introduction of various foodstuffs and methods to Britain: prehistory, Roman era, sub-Roman period to the discovery of the New World, 1492 to 1914, after 1914, sugar beet, 1914 to 1918, sliced bread, 1930, Chinese restaurant, 1937. See also: Cuisine of the 13 Colonies, Culture of the United Kingdom, List of British desserts, List of United Kingdom food and drink products with protected status, List of English dishes, Rationing in the United Kingdom, References. External links: www.greatbritishkitchen.co.uk, Food Stories, explore a century of revolutionary change in UK food culture on the British Library's Food Stories website, Guide to British Food and Drink, Great British Grub article in Condensed Traveller India by Lalit Sultan Faizdan, George Orwell's spirited essay in defense of English cooking.